Look at him. Just dickered. Just dickered, boys. Son of a bitch.
Yo, yo. Class A, and macro. Not connected, not elected to participate. Bouncing down the stems will make your head hurt. Enjoy the takes. Says her whose head burns from hearing horror stories.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Take Her Wide. This is episode 235. How do I start this off? Just if you haven't gone to the homepage yet, it's up. You can sign up for the newsletter. It's there. The newsletter just contains exclusive deals from the sponsors, and it's just a recap of the episode. I send them out on Fridays. No spam, just something else to reach out to you guys. So if you haven't yet, please go to takerwide.com and sign up. Also, the t-shirts are available if you haven't grabbed one of those. Designed by Wormzilla, aka Sean, who is the guest for this week, and printed by Ironclad Graphics. So yeah, just go to Big Cartel or takerwide.bigcartel.com and you can find it there, or just go to takerwide.com and you can find it. So yeah, let's get into the sponsors. And again, support these sponsors if you guys can. They help me get these out to you, and it's just all love for them, showing me love, and you can show them love. So just let's make it reciprocal. First is Heartbeat Hot Sauce. It's a hot sauce company from Thunder Bay. They are featured on Hot Ones this current season 6. The peppers are fermented using traditional methods before being cooked with a few simple high-quality ingredients. There's no water added or thickening agents or chemical preservatives of any kind, and it makes their sauce as natural as it gets. If you listen to episode 221, I spoke with Al. He's kind of behind it. Him and his partner, not kind of behind it, he's behind it. Him and his partner are making this hot sauce. It's delicious. I feel a lot of people know about it, but if you haven't, you can go to heartbeathotsauce.com and check out where you can order it. Not order it, but buy it locally. They're in a lot of stores across Canada and even in the States. So check that out. Or if you want to order, just use the promo code TakerWide5 and you'll get 5% off your cart. Go in with some friends and save on shipping and get some delicious hot sauce. So heartbeathotsauce.com. Next is DFA Tattoos. They're at 328 St. Catherine Est in Montreal. It's a tattoo shop with driven and skilled artists, and their goal is just to create the best tattoos. They have all types of artists who can handle anything from bold to traditional to portraits, walk-ins. Every tattoo is important. These guys are talented artists, and it's their shop, and there's a lot of pride in maintaining a high quality of work. So if you're up that way, just check them out at that address. Go to dfatattoos.com. You can find them there. Find them on Instagram. It's just a great shop. Safe, clean. If it's your first time or your 80th time, it's all good there. It's all good. Go to dfatattoos.com. Next, we got Kevin Rigo of Hefner Toyota. Kevin is an old friend. He's a car salesman out in Kitchener, 3121 King Street East. And if you guys are in the market to buy a new car, I would say go to Rigo. I trust Rigo. He's an old friend. He's reliable, honest, and everything that I think you would want in a person when buying a new car or a used car. If you mention the show, you'll get special pricing on new vehicles. So, yeah, all love to Kevin Rigo. If you guys can find him on Facebook, show him a like, give him a like, and just solid guy. So, next up, we have Ironclad Graphics. It's a custom screen printing shop in Kingston who specialize in apparel printing. They do fucking shirts, tote bags, koozies, stickers, hats, patches, everything. They're competitive with their pricing. They ship coast to coast every day, and it's quality work. I've been working with them for a long time, and I'm super stoked they're on board with this. They printed the Taker Wide shirts, and if you're looking for some good quality merch, I'd say go there, ironcladgraphics.com. You can find them on Instagram too. Also got Dapper Beard Oil. It's a beard oil company that my buddy Andrew runs. They're from Ottawa. It's ethically sourced. It's good stuff. It's not intense. I always say, because I think Axe is like Axe body spray and Axe soaps, and I don't know if they have a beard oil or not, but that's to me kind of high school, I guess I could say. It's way too overdone, at least the stuff that I've ever smelt or used or whatever in the past. And Dapper Beard Oil is not that. It is curated and it's crafted and it's a lot of heart went into making this beard oil. There's a lot of passion behind what he's doing, and it's his own little company. So it's super cool. He's on board with me. If you go to dapperbeardoil.com, you can find all the information there. Check out the brands or the types they have. And if you use the promo code TakerWide free ship, you'll get free shipping. So do that if you guys can. Next, we got Wellington Brewery. They provide the beers. I am sipping on a Pinwheel Pineapple Ghost. That's a soured beer that they got. Really good. They're from Guelph, one of Canada's oldest independently owned microbreweries. They are conscious. They have a conscience, I should say, in that they do charitable causes, or they support charitable causes, and they take part in countless events throughout the city. It's a great beer, and I'm very proud to be sipping on it and to be waving that flag for this show. So all love to Wellington Brewery. Also have Hope Fest. Sorry, Have Hope presents Hope Fest 2018. It's an event happening September 22nd at Maxwell's in Waterloo, and it has like 20, if not more, of Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, Southern Ontario's best up-and-coming bands and acoustic acts. There's an after-party with some of the region's best DJs and producers. There's a punk rock thrift shop vendor thing. I'll be set up there. And yeah, it's a cool little event. If you guys hadn't listened to the episode I did with Kyle Wappler, that's the kind of Have Hope guy. And yeah, it's going to be a really cool thing. I'm super stoked to be a part of that. So if you're around here, go check that out. I know they have VIP passes, and you can find it on the event page. Just search Have Hope or Hope Fest 2018. It's also in the description, so you can just find it there. And lastly, DaveLevittPhotography.ca. Dave's an old friend, and he hosted these from day one. Homie just got married, so I don't know. I'm very proud to be his friend and super excited for him. And he does music videos, websites, promos. Talented cat. He is I don't know, your go-to guy for all that type of shit. So if you're in Cambridge, Guelph, Kitchener, Toronto area, hit him up. Put him on the guest list. He'll take some photos, and he'll do good shit. So Dave Levitt Photography. That's that. So let me, this is Sean Arsenian for this episode. Sean plays in The Great Sabatini. He's an old friend. You might know him from Wormzilla. That's his art name. Fucking countless pieces of art on t-shirts that we all probably wear. And yeah, it was fun. I don't get to see Sean much, which is a bummer, but it was great to talk to him. You'll have to forgive the kind of pops and fizzles. I'm still trying to sort that out. Every now and then it'll fizzle on the mic. It probably has already, but yeah, thank you guys for listening to the long ass intro, and this is 235 with Shawnee. So you're not working tonight? What's up?
I was working. Yeah. I left early. I got home around 7. It just we had Yanni's going away thing last night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it got fucking dirty, man.
Don't like all these like DFA parties always get like gnarly like this?
Pretty much, yeah. But last night was special. Like we were all really hungover today, so. And I finished before everyone else, so they were like, "Just go home."
So what's up? Like it's crazy. A guy that talented. Like, because I saw your post where I remember, man. I remember when we played like Loft from Hell, and you were talking about this guy Yanni, and
yeah.
And your post kind of like speaking on how talented he is, and it's just not for him, I guess. Then, tattooing?
No, I guess not. I mean, I think he always seemed to have reservations about it, because I guess there's a part of that. Because it's freelance, like there's a part of it that's always involves kind of selling yourself and being a pitchman and kind of trying to play the social media game, and he hates that. Even simple things like make one post every day, because when he would post stuff, people would come. But I don't think he always felt compromised by that and wasn't interested in it, and it's hard to make money unless you're doing that. So I think he just, I mean, this is just from talking to him. I think there's other things involved too, but I think he's just tired of struggling and working on a freelance basis, because he's been tattooing for like, don't know, 9 or 10 years, or maybe more. Probably more than that. And he got a job doing concept art for a video game company. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's cool that it's some sort of thing still in the realm of art. Like,
yeah,
he's not
like
serving tables.
He got a really good. It's a good job apparently.
Fucking rights, man.
So, and he's going to be drawing every day, you know, and plus he's, it's like a 9 to 5 thing, right? So he gets to go. He's going to have normal hours and be at home at night and not work weekends and shit like that. So
yeah, that's good, man. It's you know, I would have liked to have gotten some work by him, but whatever. I live here.
I think he still might be doing things here and there. I think he's going to do some stuff on weekends at the shop just to finish up a few things here and there. But he's really trying to just cut it all. Like, I'm taking some of his projects to finish. And
are you still a little hungover then?
No, I'm okay now.
You're good now. I saw your post earlier about the fucking just like not a good time to be a bit hungover in the metro with screaming kids.
No, not really. It was a rough morning, but
man, sorry, I was cleaning out my van a bit today, and I found the keys to your place.
Oh, really?
And it just, I just thought back to that, having keys to your place and showing up, and even right now, like, I wish I was there, man. I wish I was in that room with you right now. Like,
me too, man.
To hang.
Me too.
This is the next best thing, but even this, like, I don't get to talk to you that much. It's crazy thinking back to like how often I was up there, man. Like I feel like for a point it was like once every 6 weeks or something like that. Like not quite every.
It was like once a month, dude.
Oh man.
For a few years, you were here for like a weekend a month.
That's so crazy. And like
except Christmas. That was like we would go like 2 months around the holidays without playing together, but
yeah, I miss it.
You were here once a month.
I miss that.
Me too. I miss it too.
Like the grind, I don't miss so much, but the hangs I miss, and the bus in Montreal, and like like your records, listening to your records with you. I think back to the one episode, maybe the first one we did, and we were watching Cake Farts at your place, and
and that was funny.
Yeah, it's we're both in the grind now, but I'm excited. Did you see the fucking cut of the vid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just watching it before too.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm stoked about it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. It's nice to have these things like down the pipeline to and even I'm looking forward to coming up to Montreal to do Sab stuff, right? Just it was a good time when I think back to that. And it's just the freedom, and like the hustle, and still like proving ourselves, like that underdog sort of like just grit, like fuck it, we're going to Europe. How? I don't know. Let's go out for like, even you might see behind me the fucking Tragical Misery tour. Like that was an insane tour.
That was a big tour.
Fuck.
That was a crazy tour, Steve.
That was a crazy tour.
That was fucking crazy.
It's a sick poster too. I'll have to post it later, man. But yeah, there's I hate that there's so much reminiscing, because it's like those times are gone, and they are gone, but I don't know.
Well, we have enough days behind us that we have nice things to reminisce about, and I'm starting to kind of accept that, because I'll go back and look through, I'll like go deep on Instagram or look on Facebook and dig around on old pictures and videos and of us or of like April and I and shit like that, and it's cool because it kind of gives you a little perspective on where you've been and stuff like that. But it's also, we're not done doing. There's tomorrows too,
Yes, yeah.
It's just not going to be like it was before. That's all.
I was talking to Josiah, actually on the last episode from Soulmates, about, I'm curious, man, for when this album drops, like the new Sabs record, what those years of grinding mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we put in some work, so we'll see who's still interested in this band. It's gonna be interesting, man. I'm not really worried, but I am curious. I'm curious.
I'm very curious too. Just to see if we manage, because it's like it's like pushing a go-kart, you know, for so many years. You push, and along the way, you start adding stuff to it. It gets heavier, and you push it. And now I think we just got to that point where, like a bobsled, you know, like we've just hopped in. Let's see if all that pushing actually does anything, you know?
Yeah.
But we're actually just gonna slide like 4 feet. Stop.
Fuck, man. Well, there's no ice. Like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll see though. I'm excited though. I've listened to it and I've talked about it too, like listening to it with Cross, and it was exciting to listen to it with Crossley because he is so enthused about it, and it's that other perspective on it. Because we've both been listening to it for so long that I'm excited, man. I'm excited to get it out for people, man. Super excited.
Me too. I want people to hear it.
Yeah, and people will.
And I want to hear people's reaction.
Hell yeah.
You know.
On the topic of like reminiscing, I kind of went down a Doom rabbit hole recently. Just like watching interviews and playlists and this and that, and it made me think of Your Parents' Place and Danger Doom. I never not associate that album with you, and it's when I think like, oh fuck, like you were living at your parents' place.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Fuck.
You were still in Tugnutt.
Yeah. Like, when did you move? Like, how old were you around then? That was like, let's say 06 or something.
Probably
like
like 25, 26.
Yeah. Fuck.
I moved out when I was 27.
Did you ever watch that Red Bull Presents thing, that interview that like in Spain or something that Doom did?
Yeah, I did. I don't really remember it that well. I think I watched or listened to it while I was doing something, but
It's pretty.
That was a while ago too, I think.
I like in sort of going down a rabbit hole. It's mostly like listening to Doom, but it made me think of that interview, and I was wondering like, who's this guy that's interviewing Doom? Because I don't know if Doom does a lot of interviews. Like, I don't think he's known to do a lot, or is he?
I don't think he does a lot of interviews, no. Like, I read a thing about him in the New Yorker. So I guess you got to be like the New Yorker or some super hip Red Bull Music Academy guy to be able to land an interview. Dude, I don't know.
I remember...
You don't see that very much.
No, I saw this Nardwuar interview with Earl and Sid from Odd Future. And Earl had a story about playing some fest, and it was like, word started getting around like, oh, Doom's here. And it was this, even like within those circles, it was like a big deal. And it was like, man, Doom is so cool. Like, he's the coolest dude. Like, this mystery that he's maintained for all these years. And to have like, because I pictured like this big hip hop fest thing, you know, all these artists, and then like the excitement of like, oh shit, Doom's here. And I think in that interview, Earl says something like I think I saw him like peek out of his dressing room and like pop his head back in, and I don't know, man. It's fucking like artists like that, I feel, are the super genuine but true to their word and prolific. Kind of rare. Like, Doom's a rare cat.
I agree. I mean, he's also... There aren't many people as talented as him, in my opinion. I mean, if you think... But he's the kind of guy, like, I feel like he's for the heads only, you know?
Huh.
Or, like, the musicians like him. You know, like I hate to... I'm not trying to say this, but we used to be one of those bands for, like, bands like us.
Yeah.
We don't have a shit ton of fans, but we a lot of band people like us. And I think Doom is like that, where I always hear other rappers talking about how he's the best. And like we were talking about that embarrassing Most Def, like how much he like loves Doom is like almost a little
Oh,
embarrassing to watch.
yeah. Most Def's like fanboy all over it.
Yeah, which is cool, but at the same time, it's like slow it down. Man.
Yeah. You're also
Intense.
Most Def, like
Yeah, exactly.
you're not
But
supposed to be that vulnerable.
yeah, so I feel like he's one of those guys that he's the shit, obviously. But like, then you have all the people who know why, like all the people who rap, people who make beats, people who list, who are real hip hop heads, are like Doom's the shit. So then the reputation kind of builds off of that, right? And it's cool because yeah, he's in his own class, you know. And there's definitely, I think it's interesting. There's not many people like him, or you know, you could take like any other genre of music, and there's going to be that sort of thing as well, you know, like I don't know, the Melvins or something like that, you know, you know, people who are like just have worked so long and so hard at creating this thing, just creating a body of work. And they just put their heads down and they work at it and they're good at it and they just nurture that for years and years and years. And there's becomes this kind of cult around them of like mystery and legends and that kind of thing, you know? Kind of interesting. But
well, as it's fun to think of us as old men and looking back and like the little things we've done. Like I hope that, like I'm not saying I hope that we have a cult. That'd be cool, but I hope that people will in the future really feel where we were coming from, because I do kind of feel like, yeah, we're a band that bands like, you know,
yeah,
and like the artwork and all the whole package, you know, the Sabatini last names, song titles, and all that. Like, I don't know. It's a thing I was talking to with Sergey about from the Wake from the Weir, the Wake from the Weir, about your music, you know, and you want it to people to remember you, but how long will that even last? You know, like,
yeah.
let's say like even like the Melvins, like, are they going to be a timeless sort of thing, or will it fade away, or who knows?
Well, here's the thing about it's an interesting thing to think about, because I think for me personally, I worked at making our body of work something that's, if you think of it as like a book, a scrapbook one day, an archive, going to be not necessarily an aesthetic thread that goes all the way through. Like I think we started off kind of awkwardly. Like I didn't understand branding and things like that when we started, but you know, curating the art, for example, you know, if I'm not doing it, I'm choosing who's going to do it for us, and I do that very carefully so that like we have this kind of world that we're building around our work. But who knows, you know, like hopefully one day someone will be listening to whatever Spotify equivalent is in 200 years, and maybe they'll like hear something. If you think about the Melvins, people might not remember them, but they'll remember Nirvana. And the Melvins are a big footnote in that story. You know, Kurt roadied for the Melvins.
Yeah.
And he was friends with those guys, and my understanding is they helped get them signed to Atlantic Records, and it was all because of Nirvana. So like I always, when I was a kid, I always heard that name being dropped, and it's one of those things it sticks in your head. It's a weird name for a band, you know. So when I was 12 years old and hearing Nirvana for the first time, like every now and I would read anything. As soon as when I heard Nirvana, I became obsessed with them. And I remember they were on the cover of Rolling Stone, and the library at my high school had Rolling Stone. So I remember reading that article about Nirvana like 70 times, you know, and you pick up on a little, okay, the Melvins get mentioned or something like that. So it's like, it's a hook in your head. So I think it's like, who knows that in the future, distant future from now, people will be hearing about the bigger things that were like ticking up, but like Nirvana were the band that, for better or for worse, is attached to that cultural movement of grunge and all that. So that will bring the Melvins with them on throughout history, maybe, you know, and people will discover, or like the Jesus, you know, like, because Nirvana were like, you know, they were attached to like Sonic Youth and the Jesus Lizard and other bands like that, you know, that was like, maybe some future kids are going to be like,
Yeah.
Oh, cool, what's this, you know?
Yeah, I wonder, man. I wonder. I was, this fucking mic, hold on a sec. This mic. Okay, we're back. Yeah, who knows? I remember even growing up myself, that, remember that guy, Will Baranowski? Maybe I shouldn't drop his name, but Will, from the guy that I met in Thunder Bay, and he was telling me about his band, and from emo.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was like the band guy growing up. Yeah, I remember Curtis, my buddy Curtis, had one of his cassettes, and it was like, wow, this guy's fucking rad. He's got his own band and this and that. And I remember being a kid, not that I got into the Melvins at all, but he was dropping that name like you know, when I was, he recorded the first the second Tugnut stuff, and then around then he was talking about the Melvins, but I never really dove into it. But yeah, it's we'll never know, right? We're in the band, our band. We're never gonna know the reach or who cares. And
I don't feel like I even do understand. I'm always surprised when I hear, like when someone says like, "Oh, you're in a band. What band?" and I say the name of the band, they're like, "Oh, I love that band," or something like that. Like that always freaks me out.
yeah,
I think that's probably the way it should be, because we're just too busy doing what we do. We're too busy making it to understand who's enjoying it, which is better. I don't know.
I think
it's also maybe why we're not bigger. I don't, you know, like,
who knows, man.
I think we spend a lot of time working so hard on making stuff that pleases us that haven't spent as much time making sure that other people are gonna get to it, or something. I don't know.
Cross maybe pointed out something I didn't really think about, but over the last 10, 11 years, we have a good amount of releases. Like, we've been busy releasing stuff more so than, I don't know, a lot of bands. I think there's shit I forgot about, like I forgot we did a cassette of the Royal We.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like the Antithesis split, not to mention like the full lengths. Like, it's a good I don't know, it's a good, like, it's almost in a way like, it might sound wrong, but like we deserve a break, or the world is just allowing the band to breathe for a bit, because it was a good chunk of time. That's the thing now, man, that I'm home and not doing much, is that I realized that we were kind of outliers in how busy we were. It was like tour, plan the next tour, release, plan the next tour. Like, not every band is doing that. It was the norm for us, but that's not the norm for a lot of people. Like, I'm thinking of the Toronto scene of my friends. Like, it's just kind of weekend warrior stuff, and probably the same in Montreal.
People always do what they feel they can do, and we did the same thing, except I think we were ready to say we can do more than the average band. I wanted to, like, it was cool, because the first tour we did was kind of like proving to ourselves that we could do that. Period. And then we got you in the band, and it was like you just were like, okay, like, it was like hit the ground running type of thing. Like, you really pushed it hard, and I was like, I think we all want to go along with that. Like, let's just fucking, because it's like, it's fun. Playing shows is fun, and making records is fun. It's fun to me. You know, I don't want to. I always want to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing I think now with all my bands, where to the point I think about maybe I should just, and it sounds, when I say it, I feel like I'm giving up, but to be like, maybe I should just get a good job that only gives me 2, weeks off a year. I'll take care of my family, and as an asterisk, I can afford to record solid albums with my bands, because that shit's expensive and we're not touring. But
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that. I don't want to just, because I feel like I'd be giving up. In a way, I'd be like giving up. I'd be like, well, I give up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
I do know. I know exactly.
There's a like it's a defeat. Like I'd feel defeated by life to succumb to the. All right, I bend my knee to life, and now I'm just gonna work.
I think. I don't know whether I'm going to help you or hinder you here, but just to be to you what McGee was to me a couple of months ago, because me and him were talking, and I was saying something sort of similar, because I think it's kind of been a theme for me personally regarding the band, is just how for the last 3 years it's been a steady decline of the last couple tours we did. I felt like this might be the last one, this might be the last tour we ever do, or I'm lucky to have this. And I definitely looked at the last Europe tour as like, I wanted of this because this is probably the last time we'll be on the road, because that's what I felt at the time.
Huh.
It's too bad all that bad shit happened, but the first week was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we made this record happen, and then a whole bunch of shitty timing happened. You were just, your life as a family man was justifiably taking over as a priority, and Rob's going back to school, and I'm moving my shop, which was the scariest thing I've ever done. That whole thing was huge, and people are dying, and all these things are just happening to kind of, life is happening, and putting out a record was the dumbest thing we could have done last fall when I wanted to do it. So I really felt sitting on the record. Okay, I'm like, I'm patient. I'll sit on the record. I'll shop it around. Nobody gave a shit, and the people who did give a shit were not able to give a shit. They were like, I can't afford to help you right now, or whatever. So I was really just, at some point, put it on Bandcamp and fuck it. I'm tired of it just being in the closet on my hard drive type of thing. And he was like, absolutely not. You should not do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you cut out. So you're saying,
yeah,
he's saying you shouldn't just put it on Bandcamp.
McGee said, do not. You should absolutely not put this out right now. You should. This is a really good album, and you need to do. You need to do it properly. And he also, that was also kind of the opening of the door for him to say, I'll help you however you need help to do it, but don't just throw it on Bandcamp. And I think he was kind of like that voice of that kind of cheerleader for the passionate shit, music, this is important to us. So he was saying you don't have to just give up, because to me, putting it up on Bandcamp would have been giving up. That's, just not doing a press release, not, doing any shows, not doing it. I was just I'm tired of being the only one to hear this. If people are interested, they can listen to it. If they're not, I don't care. But there's still that part of me that's no, to try to get 10 and more band and listen to this album, even though it's peanuts, whatever. But so I feel like, I mean, you got to do what's right for you and for your family. That's the most important thing. And I know I'm not saying that to you to tell you that I'm just saying it to illustrate my point. But like there's nothing wrong with if you were to take that option, and say, like, put all of the other stuff that makes your heart beat on the shelf. But you're making it work now. You're still doing the things that you love with the people that you love. And you're still being a good dad and keeping the heat on. So even though it sucks and it's hard and it's discouraging, it'll get better.
Yeah.
And you got to keep fucking doing it.
Yeah, I don't want to close that door to... It's like not opportunities, but I don't want to close the door to... It's kind of a thing you said to me once, like, like talking about aiming for the stars and just like wanting it all. Like, you should be allowed to want it all. Like, there's no...
Yeah, totally.
Like, that is fine to be like, I want my bands, like, as simple as this statement, I want my bands to be respected, and I want my bands to put out good music, and I also want to have a family, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I really don't ever think I would just, because I know, like, I could do that, and yeah, it'd help me fund the albums, and that's important, but I also want to do gigs and tour. That shit is fun. When it sucks, it really sucks, but when it's fun, it's the best shit ever, man. Like, me, Fleming, and Bergs, and Muskie jammed yesterday or 2 days ago.
I saw something on Instagram.
And, like, I miss... Even, man, when I saw the Dead Ranch guys, I went to Winnipeg, and I saw them, and I forgot how being part of that... And, like, it's a different thing when you're playing a show with your people versus hanging out with your people. I miss it, man. Like, hanging with the Dead Ranch guys and just talking about stupid shit. And with Muskie and Mark and Fleming, like, we played a gig, but then we were just having beers and talking. It's like, I think it's just like I miss my friends. And this is what we do is we're sharing such a personal thing with the people we trust the most. It's like so potent, and there's no way I could ever, like, I already diminished it enough in my life, but I don't want to close that door ever. What we have is so potent and so powerful and like reaffirming and all those good words. And like, yeah, it's hard, Shawnee. When I reminisce, it sucks because I love you and I love your place and like that whole thing, that other part of the band shit, talking about art, and it sounds hippie and stuff, but like, no, I love talking about, that's the podcast, talking about art and books and records and the history of it all. And like, and especially with you, like, you're like, I know I've always said, like, you're like the encyclopedia. You're like such a depth of musical like knowledge that you can't help but want to listen to new bands and new books. And like, I have a foot in both sides of the world, and it's a good balance, but yeah, it's hard sometimes. But I'm lucky because I was saying to Mark that we have it. It's not like it's gone. Like, even with Mark, we have our jobs, but we, like, you and me and the guys, we know how to put a record out, and we know how to tour. We're not starting a band from zero. Like, we have all of it. We have those skill sets. We just pull them out when we need them, which is, thank fucking goodness, man, like, that I'm not starting from zero.
Well, that's it. We built the house, and we don't live there anymore.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, but we do every once in a while all meet up there and fucking gas the stove up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Fuck yeah,
That's
man.
that's a really comforting thing to me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because uh, man, yeah, just let's put it this way. So I'm gonna bring up a fucking an Instagram or not sorry, a Facebook flame war that happened today.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get into specifics because it's bullshit, but
Okay.
I just posted. I like to post. You know, if I do post anything on Facebook, at least it's some acerbic thought that I have
Okay.
that I think is gonna. You know, I'm reaching. I'm doing it because I know there's gonna be like 5 people like yourself or other people who are gonna get a laugh out of some dumb shit that I said.
Okay.
But there was one guy who took offense to something that I said in a way that I was like, I don't understand like how he gleaned that out of my statement, but everybody in the shop was seeing this transpire this morning, and they were like, "What's this fucking guy's problem?" And it all really came down to, oh, they're like, "How do you know this guy?" And I said, "Oh, my band played with his band like 10 years ago." And Angus said, "Oh, so he's a a band guy with kids who isn't cool anymore," and like that kind of thing. Like,
Uh-huh.
and I mean, I don't know if that person's. I'm not going to name him, but if that person hears this and is offended, I don't give a shit. But like, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's that thing. Like a lot of people. Look, I'm not judging. Life happens. You got to feed your kids, or you don't. You're not interested in being in a band that way anymore. And it's like you just turn your back on that shit. My dad did that. You know?
Uh-huh.
My dad played in bands and stuff like that. And then when when I came along, it was like, got to get a serious job and put the band stuff down, and that's not important to me anymore, you know? But my dad also never did any, like, not even half the stuff that we did with our band, or has the, you know, the kind of, like, treasure trove of memories that we have about being in a band. So it's kind of like that. Like I said, we built the house. It's there. None of us live there anymore, but we get together every now and turn the lights on, and that's great because it's there. It's always there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be that thing where it's like, let's get the band back together, you know, and when we play at somebody's wedding or something like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking sad and pathetic. I mean, have fun, but you know, it's stupid to just say we're breaking the band up, which is why I'm glad we all agreed to always be in this band together, and we'll just do it when we can and how we can, or how we see fit, you know? It's ours.
Totally, man.
Nobody else's.
No. It's even like with B-Pigs, right? Like even talking to Muskie, it's like he could have ended it a long time ago, but you don't really need to. I would like to get some new B-Pigs music out there.
Yeah.
And man, in my, I think because I have a lot of things on the go that I forget dates and appointments and what I've said, and I really am kind of a scatterbrain. So we jammed, me, Muskie, and Mark a while ago, and the topic came up to do another new song because like last year we played a new song, and this year, like the 1 gig a year type thing, we had the potential to do another new one, and I had said like, yeah, let's do this other new one. Totally forgot about it, didn't practice at all, and then it came up again, and I said, I don't know if we should play another new song. So I know I like kind of bummed him out because he wanted to do another, new tune. It would be great. It would be great to have a whole new B-Peaks record, but I don't know. It's just
I eagerly await. I know like it'll happen, and when it does happen,
I hope it happens.
I can't wait to hear it. It's gonna happen. I think it is. I mean, look, I'm not fucking Nostradamus or anything here, but like, I think Muskie, if he didn't give a shit about the band, then he wouldn't do it. You know?
Yeah.
The thing is, like you and I have said many times about B-Pigs, is like it's carried. Well,
it's carried what? Sorry.
It's carried by him and him alone.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
He carries the burden of that band by himself, and I don't carry the burden of our band alone.
Yeah, I know.
Even though I took on a lot of my own volition for this record, because nobody else had the time or the money or the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to do it. I know everybody else wanted to do it, so that's how that was going to happen this time around, and that's fine. But anytime I asked someone for something, it happened.
Yeah.
So that's easy. But if you're Muskie, it's like it's going to take if it takes 10 years for the next record to come out, it's going to be the best album.
Hell yeah.
Ever.
Hell yeah,
it's
man.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the time before, and really it's the time before Tay and A Mortgage, the sort of organized chaos that was leaving a little bit of work, figured it out, fuck off. Like, I will get discouraged in just the routine, and I've said it before, I'm playing the long game. You know, I'm raising a little homie, and it'll be for a good portion of my life. So it's hard to see it's like it's an unattainable goal, and that's kind of unnerving. You know, like a band releases, you do it and it's done. And I don't like having unfinished goals. So it's a weird sort of thing in my head, like where it'll never be done.
Yeah.
So I miss those sort of like goal-oriented band things that I could do. But that being said, like, my life's it's going to constantly, all of our lives are going to evolve, but mine's going to evolve where time's going to open up, time's going to be taken away. But it's again back to just, but I have all the tools in my toolkit that when I need them, boom, I can get them out. And like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but it could be a year where Grabert, Sabs, and B-Peaks all tour in the same year. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right now, it seems like no way that could ever happen, but it did happen before.
It did, and you never know.
I don't know.
You know.
That'd be nuts, man.
I hope we can make it work and go out west in the first part of next year.
Well, I was talking to Dre.
We talked about that.
I was talking to Dre when I saw them. We just barely started talking about it, but like it wouldn't be that hard to organize it, you know? Like we know how to do it.
Yeah.
Listen, I wanted to talk about the just the collab.
So you broke up a bit there.
Oh, just your the collaboration with the toy guy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
who is this guy?
I don't even know his real name. We follow each other on Instagram. His Instagram handle is 80s Toys. And his company is called Zen Toys. And I guess I follow a lot of toy, like bootleg toy guys on Instagram, because there's a lot of guys who do that. They'll like take up old, like they'll take an old He-Man toy and they'll make their own molds and they'll start making new things out of old toys, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I guess he noticed that I had been working on some He-Man related tattoo flash designs. And he pitched this idea because he's doing these bootleg Masters of the Universe toys and little collectible things. And some of them he thought would make good tattoo ideas. Like one of them was like it was He-Man and Skeletor and Hordak, and it was like 3 monkeys, you know, like one covering the mouth, one covering the eyes, one covering the ears.
Uh-huh.
So he said, like, here's the thing about it. I'm not mad at him, but I don't think I really understood how far he wanted to go with this, because he was like, if you design a tattoo flash sheet for me and send it to me, then I will send you a bunch of toys. Exchange.
Okay.
I thought that sounded like a cool idea because I can't really afford to. He's in Switzerland.
Oh, wow.
And I can't really afford to be shipping a bunch of, because I value those things, and I'm not going to be like, hey, give me a deal on it or something like that. Like whatever he's asking for them. There's a lot of stuff. I just look at it. I don't really own a lot of that stuff. So the opportunity to get a bunch of stuff from a guy in that part of the world who's making it and stuff like that, like it just sounded like a fun thing to do. So I said, sure, no problem. It took me a long time to get the thing done. I think he was kind of miffed with me because I said, like, yeah, I'll have it for this point in time, and then a bunch of shit happened and just kept getting put off. But eventually I finished the sheet and I sent it to him. And I guess the one thing I didn't understand is that now because I sent him a file to print up his own versions of the flash sheet, and now he's selling the flash sheet along with his toys that match the flash sheet.
Ah, I see. Huh.
So I mean, he's not going to make a substantial amount. It's not like he's exploiting me or something like that. Like,
huh?
It
is. Yeah, it's a little weird because like if he's selling it, it'd be nice if you saw some of that money too.
It would, but I don't care. It was a fun collab. He did compensate me for it in the form of pre-arranged. Like he'll send me some of his toys.
Cool.
I agreed to that. That's fine. I mean, I guess if I found out he was making like thousands and thousands of dollars off this shit, then, but that's not the case. In fact, if anything, as soon as he posted my picture of the flash sheet and tagged me in it, I got like almost 100 followers in the next few days.
Wow.
Like a bunch of people were following me based on his posts.
That's cool.
And I'm sure some of that was reciprocal because I posted the same thing, and I'm sure some of my friends followed him, but it's lopsided. He definitely did more for me than I did for him. So
that's cool, man. Like I saw that in when I was home, I watched the Funko Pop documentary, and then even the like the Toys That Made Us thing, and it kind of it just opened my eyes to that world a little bit. Like, and even you kind of introduced me to it with you doing toys. Yeah. But like, it's a whole subculture that I'm sure those documentaries don't really. It's just too big to cover. Like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, kind of school me on this toy shit. Like, a lot of people are making their own custom toys. Like, I follow he made like a Necronomicon book. And Skinner, maybe. No. Art of Skinner?
Skinner's done some stuff, yeah, for sure. He doesn't really make toys. He's had toys made of some of his paintings and stuff like that by other like toy making guys, I think.
Like it seems that these custom toys are, I don't know. It's like when I think of a Ninja Turtle, like it's a bunch of different colors and everything moves, and it seems like a lot of custom toys are just more molds than toys. Is that I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just got something the other day when I was record shopping, because there's actually I'll just plug Cheap Thrills here, the record store in Montreal that I go to a lot, and one of the guys that works there, Nick, like he knows that I'm into like the toys and stuff like that. He's into that stuff too, or was into it a lot more than I was, or for longer. So whenever I'm in, he'll save stuff for me. Like he saves some DVDs and some little documentaries about various toy companies and stuff like that. And, you know, whatever. Hey, you want this? It's like $5 or some shit like that. Or he just gave me a stack of magazines the other day for free, just because he was like, I thought you might like these.
That's cool.
But he had this. There was a toy that he brought in to sell in the record store. And it was like $6, but it's with something. It's called MailChimp.
MailChimp?
Yeah, and they're like an email.
Yeah.
Like a mailing list.
Yeah, I use them for the podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Hold on a sec. Let me just show you something.
Okay.
Yeah, this is. I don't know if you can see that.
Okay. Yeah, looks like the chimp, right?
Yeah, it's the mascot. And I guess they had. Nick was saying they have a table at some festival, like a music festival, and they had like like loot bag giveaway type things.
Yeah. Let me see it. Huh.
It's black, you know.
Yeah. He's doing like the metal horns.
Yeah, exactly, and like it's pretty slick. You know, it's well made, and I mean, it's not. I bought it for $6. It's not worth very much, but it's cool and it's like collectible. But even on the box, it says ages 15 and up. Like this is not a toy; it's a collectible. You know, like I guess
Huh.
they gotta say that kind of shit. But it's
It seems, yeah, I don't know. Like I guess they're more collectibles because you're not really playing with them. Like when I'm playing with Tay, I remember of like, oh yes, like playing with toys, the figures, and
yeah,
making them jump and like creating scenarios. But
yeah.
I guess like, do you like the because you're an artist and you create, like you appreciate the time that went into it, or do you like
For
more
sure,
the
man.
exclusivity of it, like because you collect records, you collect books, you collect toys,
Yeah.
uh
To
like it,
me, it's a really wide thing for me, you know. And the Funko Pops are interesting in that way, 'cause especially after you watch a documentary, because those things are made. They're like like Angus put this great. They're like the new Beanie Babies.
oh my god, someone else just said that dude, that toy store place in Cambridge that you guys went to,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
popped in there and he said he was kind of like shitting on it. It said like, yeah, they're like the new Beanie Babies, exact same thing.
I think it's you can say that, and I don't say that in a negative way.
Hmm.
I say that's definitely what they are in terms of a marketable thing.
Huh.
In 5 years, the bottom's going to drop out, maybe less, and no one's going. They're going to be worthless, or they're going to be like I don't even. Maybe there are still some of the really valuable Beanie Babies are still worth something now, but to me, it's like the worth of these things is what you put into it, and it depends on who you are. And the Funko thing, the great thing about it is they get licenses for everything. So anything that you like, if you like The Office,
Huh.
there's a Funko Pop for that. If you like Star Wars, if you like this, if you like that, you know, if you like Captain Crunch, whatever, anything, they got one for you. And you can. Some people put it in their office cubicle because it's like shows a little bit of them, you know.
Huh.
But then some kids play with them like toys because they're toys essentially, you know. Like if I had a kid, or like if Tay, you know, had one, I'm sure he'd play with it like it's a toy because it's a toy. But at the same time, it's also art,
Uh-huh.
and people had to design that toy, even if it's Batman. There's a as you know, like they have like a block head and they have this round eyes, and
Mm-hmm.
someone had to take that formula and apply it to this character design, and someone had to sculpt it and everything else. So there's a process to that, and the value of that, like it's weird because I see that now that I'm older. I collect I go to toy fair. Me and Angus go to the toy fairs. There's one called Nostalgia that happens here in Montreal a couple times a year. It's in a hotel multi-purpose room, like I'm sure you've set up and turned down 1,000 times,
Uh-huh.
and it's just a bunch of guys selling toys, old ones, new ones, vintage, whatever it is, you know. And my big score was, as you saw, I got the original Millennium Falcon from the '70s,
Oh man.
super tight, brand like it's crazy clean and whole. It's 100%.
Yeah, I saw that. I'll have to post that picture for people listening.
Yeah, and that was funny because actually when I saw that I was like I kind of like stopped dead in my tracks. I'm like doing the tour of like this big circle, and the guy was standing there and he immediately like saw my face, was like, check it out, man. And I was like, holy shit, man. And I was like, okay, well, just out of curiosity, because I was like, there's no way I'm buying that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I'm just curious how much you want for it. He's like, $175. And I actually thought that was a pretty awesome price. I mean, it's a piece of plastic essentially, but I've seen shit like that go for like, Angus bought like a fucking Snake Mountain Skeletor's like little haunted house thing there for like fucking more than that,
Wow.
And but there was this dude standing next to me. He just stopped and he's like, "You gotta believe me, man. I don't know this fucking guy. I'm not trying to help him. But you're an idiot if you don't buy that." He's like, "I spent more than that building one of those from parts I bought on eBay."
Oh, fuck.
And he's like, "I'm gonna be mad if you don't buy it because it's like look at it, and I was like,
You sure this wasn't like a pop shoulder guy on your shoulder? That was a real guy. It was just like this little guy on your shoulder.
He looked real." But yeah, anyway, but it's funny. I'm just like, that's a funny little story. But when I look at those old toys, I find I'm actually buying some of the things I used to have when I was a kid again, or my parents bought them initially, but now I'm buying them because I don't have them anymore. And there's the value of them to me a lot of the time, because I don't have there's no rhyme or reason for me. I'm not trying to collect He-Man or like G.I. Joes or anything. I collect pieces I like.
Uh-huh.
And that means there are certain G.I. Joes I want because I like those guys, and there's certain He-Man guys I want because I like those, and so on and so forth. And for me, the thing is really just like, I bought this Transformer thing last year. There was these things called Pretenders. They're really fucking stupid. Because, remember Transformers, it's a robot that turns into a car or a truck or whatever.
Uh-huh.
These were like I didn't even know it was a Transformer. It was like this devil guy. It's like he was like 7 inches tall, and he's got like a skull face and horns, and like the sculpt on it was crazy. It was a work of art. Like, this thing looks evil as shit. And I said to the guy at the table, the vendor, I'm like, "What is that?" Because I thought it was in the 80s, there were tons of like barbarian toys like that looked like that type of shit. Like He-Man was popular, so everybody was ripping that off. So I was like, "What is that?" And he said that it's a Transformer, and it's like a you crack him in half, and there's a Transformer inside of that.
Oh, wow.
So it's like he's split down the middle, and you pop him open, like he's got a front and a back, but there's a Transformer inside of that demon guy. So I bought it because I have no like vested interest in Transformers like Pretenders editions from 1987. It looked cool, and I keep it in the shop, and I put it. For all the nerds out there, it's Skullgrin. That was his name.
Skullgrin? I gotta look it up. Skull.
Yeah.
Grin?
Yeah, Skullgrin. And I was like, that's gonna look really cool on the shelf in my room at the shop, like, because it's fucking cool, So, and when I look at certain things that I loved when I was a kid, I couldn't really articulate when I was 7 years old why I liked certain toys that I had, but it's color combinations, the way they sculpted things. Now I look at them and I think about the craft that went into making them.
Totally, yeah.
And it appeals to me so much, and I want to do that myself. That's why I'm trying to make some of these things for myself as well.
Where are you with that, with the fuckers? You've done 2...
I've done... 3 editions, or 3.5. The last one I did 3 editions of 4, and on the last one I added 2 after the first 4 were made, and I sold almost all of them to Lee. The first edition that I did, I made 1 for April, and I made 3 which I sold to various people. They sold right away, so I was like encouraged to continue doing more, and I sold them for $100 each, so it was like,
yeah, sweet,
pretty cool. So the next 4 I made, I was like, I'm gonna keep one for myself, but Lee said, okay, dibs. I'm like, which one do you want? He's like, all of them. I said, well, I was going to keep this one for myself. He's like, well, what the fuck, man? I can't have 3 out of 4.
Oh man.
So I wound up selling all of them to him. But then I made another 2, and I think I sold one. I sold 2. I mean, 2 of them to John Combatant.
Oh, cool.
So he's got a couple, and I
You
gave one to Angus too. So Angus has them too.
like you're so
But
fucking.
those, sorry.
I was gonna say you're so busy. Like to keep doing them must you just take so much time.
Those took so much time to make, and each one is unique.
Uh huh.
My plan is to make runs of things where I sculpt, because those ones, the fuckers that I made were, I started with, there's a company called Kid Robot, and they make these things called dunnies and monies. It's like a rabbit-looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they make like generic things, and various artists. They do. They curate. They get artists to come in and make their own versions of those. But they also sell blanks, and I was trying to find those. They were really hard to find in Montreal for a long time. But HMV started selling them before they went tits up. But I also got a hot tip from my friend Rosa and her boyfriend Mikey. Mikey's, one of his toys is on our album cover, actually.
Oh yes. Is that the buddy with the corn tattoo?
Yes, that's right. I tattooed the corn logo onto him.
Sick.
In exchange for toys. He gave me custom toys for that. He's a really cool guy. Check him out. His name's Grim Job.
Grim Job. Okay.
Yeah, on Instagram. And he's a really good artist. He did one of our shirt designs too.
Oh yes, the face thing.
With the ears, yeah, the ear collector one.
Yeah. Word.
But him and his girlfriend Rosa told me about these, and it's like only $1 in Montreal that I could find had these. But they said go to the Dollarama because they have like basically knockoff blanks of the Kid Robot stuff. They're called oodles or some shit like that.
Huh.
And you can't find them on the internet. You can't find them at other Dollaramas. There's one in the basement of the big underground mall in Montreal, and I went there and I was just buying them as many as I could get. And it's just a plastic toy, like a stubby arms, stubby legs, and a big head type thing. And they have like a cat shape, and they have a bunny shape, and all these different ones. And I would take them, and I would take other toys that I had, old toys from the 80s and 90s, and stuff from my parents' basement. And Angus gave me a huge box of toys, which I just chopped these up and cannibalize them and take pieces and combine them onto the blanks. And I would spray paint them, and I would add Sculpey, which is like this kind of clay that you can put in the oven and it hardens and everything else. And I just built each one of these to, like, I basically, for 2 summers in a row, I made those fuckers, and because I could only really do it when I was spray painting them and everything on the balcony.
I remember.
Apartment, and it was really, really laborious to make them. But I want to start sculpting my own things from scratch and then casting them and molding them.
Man,
and making additions. So there's be like 20, 30 of this guy, this edition, in this color. I'm just starting to dip my toes in it. I'm really like not even a guppy. Like there's, it's cool that I managed to make a few $100 off of selling some sculptures, essentially of toys that I made. But it's when you look at, like, it's a big game, man. Like some of these guys are like, it's art. It's considered art at this point, like fine art. Like museums and shit have, like, Ron English is one of the big ones. He's like a Frank Kozik. These are like the big guys who, like, museums show their fucking toys and their art. And
you ever see that Gummy Fetus guy?
I think so.
He does like the skulls inside of toys type things. Like they're like,
yeah.
I saw he was doing like a hamburger helper. Like he found an old hamburger helper speaker or something, and he like disassembled it, and then he makes like the anatomy for it.
I saw a video on how he does that stuff, which is crazy.
It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
That whole world is like, yeah, I just another little community of dorks. Like, you know, we're a community of music dorks, and these other like, you know, speedrunning dorks, and the toy thing is something that I'm just through these documentaries and kind of your intro to it. Like I saw you kind of getting into it. It's like, ooh, like even that Doom you bought me in Seattle. Yeah. I look at that, I'm like, someone had to make this. Like it's a cool little thing. Like as far as toys, I have 3. I'll show you. I have that Doom. Ugh.
Yeah.
And then I found this at church. It's like just like a little SpongeBob.
Oh, cool. A little SpongeBob.
Yeah. And then a real shitty. Mark got this for me in Europe. It's like a Harry Potter, like.
Oh, cool.
With like the owl on it. Yeah. But yeah, like with Tay and playing with these toys, like we went to that toys place in Cambridge and I bought him a Michelangelo for like $3. Nice. And like the Funko Pop stuff's cool, and like I don't know. It's kind of like I can obviously push Tay towards so many different things, but it'd be cool to find common things. Right now it's like he likes toys. And I kind of, if it's mostly I guess money, but I can appreciate the craft behind it because I see you and I, you know, kind of learned a little more about it. So it'd be like, you know, kind of cool to, I don't know, go to a toy convention around here with Tay and just be geeked out, and he'd be stoked too. He's fucking 3.
You should totally do it. And man, if I had a kid, I would bring him to the ones that I go to, because you can definitely, there's stuff, these guys are selling stuff that's worth money, and they're trying to make money, and it's a community, so everybody kind of knows what the general value of these things are, like the market at the time or whatever. So there's definitely stuff. It's like like some guy will have like he'll have like the top shelf items, like stuff that's like pristine and worth money, and then they'll have bins of old toys. Like it's like a bin full of like busted up fucking Ninja Turtles and shit like that. And it's like $1 a piece or 50 cents or whatever. It's like I would be like, go for it, kid. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah.
And it's fun because there's lots to see, and I see some of these guys and girls bringing their kids to the toy fairs. It's fun.
How much is it
to see the kids? Oh my god!
Yeah, how much like is an entrance fee for that? Like $20 or something like that, or is it like $50?
The nostalgia one here is like $5 or $7 or something.
Whoa!
It's cheap. Yeah.
Holy fuck!
It's small though. It's not big. It's still like and actually the guy who runs it, I can't remember his name, but Angus and I have gone over to his place because he's got like a by appointment shop in his apartment. It's crazy. It's like he's got like, picture my room here that I'm in right now. It's a toy store with like pegs and like rows of shit and everything. Wow. He's got like crazy. Angus and I went and spent like an hour at his apartment, like looking through his stuff, and we bought a bunch of shit off him one time. And you can like call him up and be like, "Hey, can I stop by at 2:00 today?" And we're like, "Yeah, no problem."
That place in Cambridge is pretty cool. Like I've never really been in a toy place, but like it was way bigger than I thought.
It's a cool place.
The just kind of talking about pricing with toys, I saw there was a Funko Pop on eBay for like $40,000.
What?
Yeah, it was a set, which was 2 of Stan Lee. One was a gold one was a chrome one, or silver and gold, both signed by Stan Lee. Asking price like $40,000.
That's fucking crazy, man.
So crazy. And even I was looking at like Doom figurines, and there's like some $500, $400 like stone's throw things. Like fuck, man.
Yeah, man.
It's cool though, man.
I'm actually working on a couple things for our record release too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I guess
I'll talk to you about that. in private. But yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's been about an hour, so we should do the Hibzine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we can just keep talking about that. What's something cool like you've been checking out recently?
What have I been checking out recently? Pile.
Where are those guys from?
I don't know.
I have one of their records. Mark showed it to me. Did Yautja play with them, or I feel like
I don't know.
there's
maybe?
a connection with Pyle and Tyler or something. But anything in particular, and I guess like why do you dig it? Why do you dig Pyle?
I heard one song called Uncle Jill, which I really liked. And that was kind of like, I got hung up on that song, but I've been really kind of investigating their entire discography in the last week or two. And I guess what I like about them is that it's, and that song was like, embodies that. It's got this kind of, it starts kind of soft.
Okay.
It's got like this kind of, they have nice pretty chords. They have pretty chord progressions. And there's a kind of weird nostalgia to their chord progressions that hooks me. And the guy can really sing in a really soulful way, but then they'll get nasty.
The record I heard, like, sorry, it had some like pretty. Sorry, I'm just grabbing another beer. Yeah, the production on it. I wish I fucking had my iPod on me, but it's like, what's the proper word? Just nasty. Some nasty tones on that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That song, Uncle Jill, it starts off with this kind of melancholy type of like chord progression, and then it kicks into this like it's got balls. Like it's really, and he's not afraid to scream, which I like because I like that like he's got this really creative voice and a creative way of picking melodies and shit like that, and he sings really soulful, but then they're not afraid to like get really loud and crazy and scream and get heavy, so to speak. You know, it's not really heavy, but you know, loud and nasty sounding. And I've been just digging into their entire discography lately.
So I could maybe play Uncle Jill. Do you think that'd be fitting?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I'll play right here. This is Pyle's Uncle Jill. that was that.
Cool.
Yeah, shit. I don't know, man. We'll definitely. Let me just close this off, and then we can talk off air. But I guess for people listening, man, yeah. If you heard of the DFA tattoos, we didn't really talk too much about that, but that's the shop that Shawnee's got there in Montreal. You guys can follow them. You can find Shawnee. You have a new handle now on Instagram, right? You're kind of separating the personal art stuff.
That's it. I'm keeping the Wormzilla thing because I've built 2,200 followers, which for me has been a long, slow climb. So I wasn't about to be like, I'll keep that one for my pictures of records and start a business one from scratch. So
yeah,
I have one called Thinking Man's Idiot. If anyone cares to follow stuff that's just me posting pictures of myself and my friends and my records and my toys. And the Wormzilla one is exclusively for tattoos and art.
Cool. You guys can find that. And I guess fucking you guys will. The new Sabs record is coming out. We're gonna have some dates we're gonna announce soonish. Bunch of stuff like
Really
that.
stoked about that.
Hell yeah. Get back out there. Well, that's it. Shit. Let me. I guess. Well, I'll close this off after. But yeah, man. Thanks, Shawnee, for chatting.
Thank you, man. I love you, man.
I love you too. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Just to wrap up here, the sponsors are Heartbeat Hot Sauce. Use promo code TakerWide5 and you'll get 5% off of the hot sauce. HeartbeatHotSauce.com. DFA Tattoos. They're at 328 St. Catherine Est in Montreal. DFATattoos.com. Kevin Rigo of Hefner Toyota out in Kitchener for your new vehicle purchasing. Find him on Facebook. Special pricing on new vehicles when mentioning the show. Ironclad Graphics out in Kingston, a screen printing company. Competitive pricing. Ship coast to coast. IroncladGraphics.com. Dapper Beard Oil. Great little beard oil company from Ottawa. Small business. Support a homie just trying to do his thing. Use promo code TakerWide free shipping. That's dapperbeardoil.com. WellingtonBrewery.ca for the beers. DaveLevittPhotography.ca for the love and the support. And also on September 22nd, there is the Hope Fest 2018 happening at Maxwell's in Waterloo. A great event. Bands, acoustic acts, DJs at the end of the night. It's going to be a punk rock thrift shop, flea market type thing. And yeah, if you guys haven't grabbed a shirt, grab one. Sign up for the newsletter. Follow the Facebook page. I'm on all platforms pretty much. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, etc., etc. Thank you guys for listening so much. This is nothing without the listeners. So yeah, thank you. And I'll be back next week. All right, take it wide.